to you all. Attorney-General and Minister for Economy and Communications, Honorable Aiyaz Sayed-Khaiyum, Vodafone Fiji's Regional CEO, Mr. Pradeep Lal, and FDB CEO, Mr. Saud Minam, members of the media, and the Fijians joining through the live stream. Thank you for being here this morning, and welcome to this joint press conference, a collaboration between Vodafone and FDB with the support of the Fijian government. I will invite the FDB CEO, Mr. Minam, to deliver his remarks, followed by the CEO of Vodafone, Mr. Lal, and the Minister will give the concluding remarks. After the statements are delivered, we will have questions from the media and have a photo op. Thank you. I invite Mr. Minam to deliver his address.
Thank you very much, Bula. Good morning, namaste, and assalamu alaikum. As you can see that we are 2 meters apart, and it's a disclaimer to everyone that yes, I am fully vaccinated. As you know, that this is a great moment for FDB, and I want to thank Honorable Minister and Attorney General for giving us the opportunity. And I'll talk a little bit more about in terms of the COVID-19 package and schemes which has been launched during the budget. But I take the opportunity to thank Pradeep, CEO for Vodafone, for allowing us to be a partner with M-PAiSA. A few years ago, we had this arrangement done with FDB and Vodafone that where the customer could have made the payment to FDB through M-PAiSAs. But looking at the recent issues, which in terms of the COVID-19, safety, security, social distancing, and making sure that we bring our customers' health to the first and the priority. So we thought that how we can actually disperse these sort of loans into an easy and convenient way to our customers. So that was the basis of our conversation. As you know, teams have really worked very hard in terms of putting it together, and in less than about a month, we have been able to put this thing together, whereby we can, as an FDB, we can disperse a loan up to $5,000 under the scheme through M-PAiSA. To give you a little bit more about this whole initiative, and once again, I want to thank Government of Fiji and Honorable Minister for putting in $200 million towards this particular scheme, where customers can actually avail the loans from $10,000 up to $100,000. And the first 2 years on these particular loans are the customer does not have to make any interest or the principal payment, and those customers will be allowed to will be making the payments in after 2 years. So there was one segment of the customers who still have the accounts with other banks. So one of the main reason that we wanted to get into the M-PAiSA one as well, some of those customers who are not living close to the places where the banks are easily available or the branches. So we thought that how do we reach out to those customers? And I think I may take the thunder away from Pradeep, but if I'm not mistaken, more than 1 million connections in Fiji for mobile phones. I did a little bit of a research, almost same amount of smartphones are available in the market. So what a good way to be a partner with a company which basically allows end-to-end complete digital. In the last couple of weeks, I must thank my team as well from FDB point of view. It has been a great journey for all of us. I still remember sitting and listening to the budget, and then after the budget, we had 2 weeks to prepare ourselves, and we knew that the influx of people will be here. So the team developed something digitally, and I'm happy to share this with you that yes, today you can sit over here, you can fill out the application form, you can upload your documents, it can come to FDB, we get the loan process, and you get the money dispersed in your account. And now with this M-PAiSA, up to $5,000 can be dispersed into M-PAiSA's account as well. All digital, no one standing, no one filling out the application forms on a piece of paper. Just to give you a little bit of stats on what has happened in the last 4 weeks, I think it's less than 4 weeks now, starting from 2nd of August. We've received close to about 3,000 applications as of this morning. These are the latest numbers from last night. Out of 3,000, 1,100 applications have been approved for the total amount of $21 million. So just, it has been overwhelming response from our customers. We've been great in terms of providing the service. And I still want to go back again and give my sincere thanks to Minister as well as the government of Fiji in terms of providing this avenue to some of those customers who were struggling. We have been receiving great comments on our Facebook, one-on-one on Viber groups. I think people are really happy. Not only that, I think the turnaround time has been great as well. So again, the support which has been provided from the government, as well as what we have done towards providing the convenience to our customer. And one of the main reasons, the last one which I'll talk about M-PAiSA is, a lot of times the customers who may not have the bank account, and they would need the access to the cash. So cash basically means funding, and then M-PAiSA comes into play, and this basically allows them to have the access of that up to $5,000 for their use. Again, at the end, work is just begun at FDB, and I think we will have a lot more things to do. Our agenda remains the same. We would like to reach out to our customers in a very convenient, in a speedy manner, making sure that yes, all our protocols of COVID are being maintained, and we look after our customers in a better way. So with these remarks, I'll pass it on to Pradeep, CEO for Vodafone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Saud. The Honorable Minister, CEO, Fiji Development Bank, friends from the media, big bula vinaka to all of you. Our digital mobile platform called M-PAiSA has been around for over 10 years now. It's a very stable system and has been operating for just over 10 years. Today we have over 600,000 active users of mobile money on the platform. On a monthly basis, there's a quite significant amount of transaction which goes through mobile money now. On average, now the transaction is around 120 million a month, which equates to about $1.2 billion worth of transaction, which will go in 12 months through the mobile money. Year on year, very significant growth to the tune of about 50% year on year. Also, what we have recently seen is significant amount of money is now, inward remittance into the country is coming onto the mobile. And that has allowed us to be able to service number of rural areas where people from European countries, US, Australia, New Zealand, or any part of the world are sending money to their families and friends during this difficult time. Last month, we had $15.3 million which came through mobile money, and this month, the figure will surpass 16 million, which equates to just over 26% of inward remittance into the country is coming through the mobile money. Also, I think it's important to explain that M-PAiSA has taken the basic financial services to many places which did not before had the financial services. So the unbanked is the number of people who remained unbanked. And in recent times, through M-PAiSA, this has significantly decreased. We have also gone into areas which if I may say, the traditional banks had not gone. Some of these areas includes the Levuka, Kandavu, Tavini, Rambi Island, Bua, Namboalu, Yasawas, and the Lau Group, just to name few, where M-PAiSA is working, and we have set up agent networks. So it means where the traditional banks are not present, M-PAiSA is able to serve those customers, and today's the partnership with the FDB will allow that we are able to support and service those areas where the banks are not present. So Vodafone Fiji is very pleased to work with the Fiji Development Bank to facilitate the disbursement of COVID-19 credit loan through the M-PAiSA platform. This is not the first time we dispersing loan through the platform. Some of you may be aware that SPBD, which has about 7,000 microfinance operators, all the loan disbursement goes through the mobile money. And also the customers are able to service their loan fully through the mobile money. So it is a system which has been operating, and similar products has been offered through Vodafone partnership with SPBD. Also the Fijian Teachers Credit Union, the Fiji Teachers Union, Fiji Nursing Association, Kontiki Finance are using M-PAiSA platform for dispersing loan to areas where people may not even have a bank account. So this has really transformed the banking sector. The funds, the beauty about this is also, a number of you may have also experienced that when the loan is approved or interbank transactions take place, if it's a check, it takes 3 to 7 days for the funds to be cleared. With M-PAiSA, as soon as the fund is dispersed, the customer can immediately access the fund. So it is a system which is very fast, it's secured, it's very convenient, and you can receive the money immediately and use the money. Also, if I may say that today in Fiji, over 1,400 business outlets Fiji-wide are able to use M-PAiSA. So you don't have to, not necessarily have to withdraw the money and use the cash. You would be able to take this and be able to use at the respective merchants where you need to buy the commodities from. So we are therefore very pleased to partner with Fiji Development Bank in the initiative to ensure those loans are processed and dispersed safely and efficiently to approve FDB clients so that they can get back to their feet and help with the recovery of the economy. Naka.
Excuse me, sorry, can I just take one, please? And it's a very important stat which I forgot to mention. Out of 3,000 applications, 99.5% applications have come in through digitally. So it basically means that only 15 applications have come in through on a piece of paper. Out of that, 3,000 applications. Thank you.
Thank you, the CEO for FDB and CEO for Vodafone Fiji. This is, of course, a wonderful announcement here, building these capacities within financial institutions and partnering up with money wallet providers to essentially give connectivity, improve efficiency, and indeed, on an affordable basis, give accessibility to ordinary Fijians. The fact that now those Fijians who apply through FDB for the loans, as you know, there is a huge uptake, as highlighted by the CEO of FDB, in respect of the initiative, the joint initiative between the Fijian government and Reserve Bank of Fiji of the availability of funds for micro, small, medium enterprises at very low cost interest rates, where the Reserve Bank of Fiji is lending at 0.25% to financial institutions, and those financial institutions can then on-lend at no more than 3.99%. And those monies lent, the businesses don't actually have to pay any interest whatsoever for the first 2 years, because government is paying the interest on their behalf to the financial institutions. And within those first 2 years, the financial institutions have agreed that there won't be any fees and charges, plus there won't be any need to make any principal payments. So it gives the farmer, the small storekeeper, the person who's engaging in some micro-enterprise, to be able to focus on their business, grow their business, retain some of the staff that they have or all of the staff that they have, and ensure that they get their profits up, They're able to sustain their business for those 2 years. And then, God willing, with the pandemic behind us, then within the next, after the next 2 years, then they'll be able to then make those repayments. So that is essentially the idea, the rationale behind this facility. What this initiative today does is goes one step ahead, and that is to be able to make those funds a lot more easily available once it's gone through the rigorous approval process, to be able to have those funds available very quickly to these individuals or small businesses. So if you have a farmer in the upper reaches of Navosa, you have a farmer who may be growing yangona or growing dalo or some other business in Kandavu or Tavyuni, where they traditionally don't have access to banks, they're able to then access these funds immediately. And of course, there's certain limitations placed in respect of how much cash they can take out, and I'm sure in the question time, the CEO of both the organization will be able to elaborate further on that. But it gives them the ability to very quickly action the objectives of their business, of their particular enterprise that they're engaged in. So this is the beauty about it. And as the CEO of Vodafone highlighted, many of the traditional banks, for example, they're not available in Naitasiri, in the interior of Naitasiri. But of course, M-PAiSA is available. We do have government in the maritime areas does provide a subsidy to BSP to provide savings banking facilities to them, and we do pay a fee. You'll see that allocation in the budget. However, not everybody is able to go to the local post office or postal agency. So that's where, again, M-PAiSA comes into play. The holistic approach to digital accessibility to funding is also reflected in the budget, where we have made an allocation to partner with Vodafone to pay for the fees for those merchants who currently are not on M-PAiSA, who have M-PAiSA facilities, but we will pay their fees for them to get onto M-PAiSA. So the more stores you have available, more businesses we have available with M-PAiSA capacity, it provides better accessibility to those Fijians who have monies in M-PAiSA, whether it's the 360 or whether it's a loan through FDB. They're able to then procure goods from those product providers. The last point I would like to make, of course, is that the national payment system, as you know, that Parliament approved the law pertaining to the national payment system, which is under the aegis of the Reserve Bank of Fiji. There's some bit of a slowdown because of some of the consultants and the experts not being able to come into the country. But we are hoping in our discussions that by March, April of next year, we will have the national payment system, which will then increase the capacity of the different financial products available by the different institutions. So at the moment, for example, there are limitations by certain banks where you cannot transfer funds from a banking account or bank account to M-PAiSA. And vice versa, there are certain limitations, your inability to transfer money from M-PAiSA to a banking account or to a bank account. So all of this will become seamless to the national payment system, which will mean a lot more Fijians will be actually mainstream into the financial system. Once they are mainstream into the financial system, we ensure that we get rid of people from going and borrowing money from sharks, money sharks, what we call money sharks or money lenders who charge 30–40% interest rates. We are then coupled with government's initiative to increase the rate of home ownership, gives them a lot more collateral, and then there's a holistic approach to empowering Fijians in the financial sector. So I'd like to, with those remarks, thank both the Vodafone and FDB, and officially like to in person welcome the CEO of FDB since his appointment. We are very lucky to have somebody from the commercial banking sector to be the CEO of FDB. I don't think we've ever had someone with his type of commercial experience head the FDB. And we're already seeing some of the efficiencies that exist in the private sector being brought to FDB, and we look forward to even more announcements in that respect. So thank you very much. Naka.
Thank you, Minister, sir. Are Are there any questions from the media?
Bula Mereoni from Fiji One. My question is for Mr. Minam. Sir, I understand you mentioned about 1,100 applications approved. Can you just touch on the types of applications received and the interest from those in the rural areas?
I think if I can, sorry, can you hear me? In terms of 1,100 applications, most of them are coming in, 60% of them from the west side, and that's what we anticipated because of the prolonged COVID effect over there. And within the 1,100 applications which we have received, mostly a lot of them have to do closer to your tourism sector, sort of like a service providers to the tourism, not the large resorts, but the smaller businesses. Not only that, but there are a lot of these customers who are service providers and as well as your small restaurants, small MSMEs. So I think this is where the 1,100 applications which have been approved so far. So, I mean, if you look at the $10,000 up to $100,000, 1,120 million, so an average loan size is about $20,000. So it's more towards the lower end of this of the loan size, and that's where mostly the MSMEs are falling into place.
Thank you. There are no further questions. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you, gentlemen. We would now proceed to the photo op. I'll then invite the CEOs and the Honorable Minister to just stand behind the banners for media to take the photos. Thank you.
If I stand in front of the banner will be hidden. So I maybe on the side of the banner will be good, right? So. Thank you.
That brings us to the end of the press conference. Thank you.